Hello, hello, welcome back. So, this is a very special addition to the alter list ranking thing, because as you can clearly say, this is not the official LOL tier list, all the stuff on it. This is specifically just a version for LOL X, and I have it split up into two parts. I've been debating on doing this for a while. I honestly forgot what order, all the LOLs came out. LOL X kind of came out after LOL Nova, I believe. So, but I wasn't really eager to do it super soon because it's a very complicated thing to talk about. But I figured, the new Konata moveset came out, and I feel like I want to at least do part 1 of LOL X before I do LOL Mad, So that's why, it's split up. But, oh, this is going to be a long one. So I bet you're wondering, why is LOL X not on the official tier list, and why am I talking about it now, outside of, the Konata thing? So LOL X is in a very unique position in that it's been around a long time, and it has a unique, it's got a unique status that I don't really think any other LOL has because of that. Because it's been around for a long time, and a lot of the movesets, I don't know how I talk about this. I don't know if it's, very well received anymore, is what I want to say. And it's not very highly regarded for a lot of reasons, but part of the reason why I want to do this is because I feel like LOL X is still important to talk about, and I know, it's probably not going to be on the official tier list ever. I think it's important, we talk about these characters. I think LOL X is interesting, mostly for a lot of what it does wrong, and still does wrong. But I also want to acknowledge, it's not as bad as I think a lot of people think it is. It's bad. A lot of the stuff is bad, but it doesn't mean there isn't things to like and appreciate about it. I think there's so many qualities you can appreciate about this LOL. But let's get into the main basics. It was made by Agito, and Agito doesn't. I don't think they mainly speak English. It's kind of broken up here and there, which is it's not an unique thing. It's not very. LOL Nova was made by Scap, who I think is Spanish, and I also believe that Chen is as well. So there's that kind of. God, it's so hard to talk about. I don't want to be mean. One of the reasons why I want to do this because I don't want to be mean, but I also want to I want to talk about this LOL. And it's kind of I don't want to say this LOL is terrible and the creator doesn't have any, yada yada yada, because that's not constructive. I just you could just look at this list of characters. This is a very unique list of characters for I think any LOL to have, but I think somewhere along the line, maybe somewhere in the middle, it starts getting a little bit weird because this is a lot of characters. This is over 46 characters for context. This is a lot of characters. So you'd think at some point this LOL, because it's been around for so long, the quality will kind of increase. But I feel like it's never done that. I don't really feel like a lot of people say Guido doesn't really put as much care into it. I mean, this has always been a hobby for a lot of people. If you're doing this for fun, obviously not everyone has to compare about competitiveness and junk. But you kind of expect, after 46 movesets, there should be a level of improvement and quality in how, you animate and such. And LOL X has kind of gained a status for stagnating really hard. I think that's the reason why it's not very well received anymore, is because it's been around for so long, but it's never really improved upon itself in a lot of ways. And I think it's a huge shame. And I think because there is specks of good things in this LOL, and I want to talk about it. And actually, I think one of the most striking good things about this LOL is literally the very first character, which is Surf. And I will actually be pulling up the LOL X videos because I feel like it's important. I think this is a case where I do want to do this because there's a lot to talk about. So Surf is interesting. For context, this moveset came out like what, 11 years ago now. This is like such a weird. This is a very complicated character for anyone's first moveset to be. So this is a character that had only 2 games, Digital Devil Saga series. It was 1 and 2. They released before Persona 3, and that's when the modern Persona started kicking off. So it is like literally a spin-off of, you know, what most people consider not a very, like, the mainline series is not nearly as popular as Persona, but this is even before Persona was big on the map anyway, not even just in Smash, just in general. So this is like a super interesting and unique niche character from a very obscure SMT spin-off that's not very, like, popular. Like, some people like it, but most people don't. It's weird. And not only that, they have a very complex Persona-esque mechanic, but it's different compared to how, you know, Persona does it. So he has like how the character works is he has like a lot of the main gimmick is he has 2 forms. He has his human form and then his demon form, I think, which is like whenever he needs to eat. Because it's like a weird werewolf-esque situation. So the idea is in the game, you know, you have guns, and then you have like your demon form, which is where you're allowed to use all your Persona spells and stuff. You're actually good at fighting. So you have to adapt that into a character that has like 2 completely different statuses. That's a lot for any, you know, LoL character to start off as like, hey, what if I make a character that has like a lot of gun moves, a transformation gimmick, and just like also a 3D model character from an RPG? That's like another level of difficulty you're dealing with here. Like, I greatly respect this pick. It's like very different from, like, you know, Strong Bad or something like that, you know? Strong Bad or I Am Mean or any of that. And he's got a very unique aesthetic. He's from, you know, a very much darker series. And it's kind of balanced out with later reps. Like it's just a strong start. It's a very strong start for any LoL creator. And, you know, I'm not going to be really talking about balance too much, because I don't really want to make balance too much of a thing at the start, especially, but this is a great start for a character. Like, obviously, you know, a lot of it is just kind of like, you know, he used gun, he commands his buddies to shoot gun, but that's the thing, his human form isn't supposed to be that strong, although I think it is a little bit ridiculous in some aspects. His normal form plays more like a zoner, and then this monster form plays more like an actual fighting character. This is just cool. This is just really, really awesome. I love this a lot. He is not very complicated, even despite that. Like, he might have a little. It's the first moveset, so a lot of the balance is all over the place. But even then, I think he's still very simple. The mechanic from his source was used well, and I don't really have many more complaints about that. I honestly think, you know, for first moveset, I would rank him very highly. You know, he's not bad. He's honestly props. This is not a character I would expect anyone to do for a first moveset. This is respectable. And, you know, we balance it out by the next character being Jen Masterson, I think. Yeah, Jen Masterson. So, if you were already, like, confused, but something out of luck or whatever, just screw YouTube. But yeah, no, like, the first 5 characters, I think, I didn't really talk about it before, but the first 5 characters are really good at solidifying what your LoL is going to be about, like, theming-wise. Surf does a great job because he's like, oh, I like a lot of early PS2 edgy stuff. It's cool. It's a certain aesthetic. It's a vibe. I like it. And then you just have Jen from 16. It's a weird peg. I don't really understand it, but, you know, I get it. You know, it's a unique source. I respect it. I think she's kind of boring. Like, she throws a rock, her boss runs forward to protect her. The recovery kind of makes sense, and then she has, you know, okay, she has the attraction move. Alright. This is it's a lot of her moves use her boss as well, so I guess that's just like a mechanic that's just unique to her. And I think the Final Smash is whatever. I don't really count the Final Smash, but I mean, like, man, that's fair. She's fine. She's neat. I'm not crazy about her, but she's not super complex. You know, I don't think she's super good or anything, but I can, you know, good starting first impression, all that jazz. And then we have Konata. Konata is like, I think, again, this is a third moveset. I'm not gonna try and be too harsh about it. Konata is probably like one of the biggest examples in the Law community of like I don't want to say a bad moveset, like, but like just like a, I don't even know if it's like the incorrect thing, because like she's just very infamous for like two specific reasons, and I'll like scroll down to get into it. Also, you know, I might have to get rid of my ad blocker, but it's gonna be obnoxious in a sec. Wait. No. Come on. What? Alright. My Wi-Fi's a little bit acting up today, so. Yeah. What do you mean? Okay, yeah. There we go. So the neutral beam. This is a unique case where, like, this is like, look, okay, so look, you're right here. This is a very, I think, well-known. I don't really know. I didn't really watch Lucky Star, but Agido literally just grabbed like the wrong reference from the scene to like put in your character's neutral B. Like, as you know, like, from that's what I am aware of, which is, you know, I don't really. Again, I haven't watched Lucky Star, so I can't personally like give any particular feelings about that. But it's like, okay, I can kind of see it, but as it is from the source, you know, that's whatever. And then we get to the side B, which is a thing from a YouTube poop series. So we're already getting into a huge problem where you're not grabbing from the original source. You're grabbing from a YouTube poop series from a character that is not inherently very YouTube poop-esque. Like, she had some stuff. She appeared in some infamous stuff. But that doesn't mean you base her moveset around it, you know? She's not, like, exactly lacking in stuff. And then, you know, she has this thing, which was in another thing. So I can get it. I can respect it. And then we have the down B, which is probably like one of the most infamous moves in the Law community. For just being like, why did you pick that? So she drinks milk and she just restores up to 25% health, but it could be 50% health. There is no cooldown on this. Look, even if you don't know anything about like balancing a character, I think taking away 50% whenever you want and not having any kind of cooldown at all is like insane. Like, that's just why. And also, how is this irrelevant to the character? Like, it's just like, why would you pick this? This is just a very strange thing to do. I know a lot of people just genuinely do not like this moveset, and I get it. But I will say, it's bad. There is like some bad qualities to it, but I don't think it is the worst Lawl X moveset. I think there are genuinely worse movesets, and I'm just gonna put it in. I think Konata, like, some things are correct. Like, a couple of the moves are right. It's not like the whole moveset is like a mess. You're not. I don't really feel like I'm missing anything. I kind of vaguely get what she's about. She's a goofy anime character, you know, which is, you know, what she is. But like, yeah, it's not great. It's not great. And we have Stewie, Uh, I am also complicated about Stewie. I don't really know how to feel about Stewie at all. Because, again, I don't really watch Family Guy. But this is the 4th moveset. He's also one of the very few characters to get an update patch. So yes, there's been over 46 movesets, and there's only been an update patch for, like, 4 characters. And not Konata. So, there's a lot of emotions to feel about this. So, I'm gonna be real. I don't really think I can fairly judge Stewie. Okay, he has a little weird baby thing. Like, okay, that he's in the show. This is also like an early moveset before Family Guy was super big. So it's a bit harder to judge this character now. But, like, okay, maybe this is fitting. I think this move is a little bit overcomplicated. It says that there's a 1/4 chance of this thing will happen, but there's more than 4 things. So the math there is kind of wrong. And some of it's a little bit overpowered. Also, Flamethrower, I'm aware he uses a lot of, like, guns and stuff. Like, it's a Family Guy thing. He uses it in the show, as you can see right there. And then we just have a grappling hook. I don't really know. I feel like maybe there would be something better for this. I don't know. A lot of characters, I mean, it's like whatever. I mean, it was in the game, I guess, so it's like it's a thing he has. And then Muscular Stewie, I don't know. I guess this is another joke from the show. He got updated in an update patch, or his down B was changed to summon Brian. And he does, like, I mean, I guess it makes sense. That feels like a good change, honestly. Because, like, I mean, what I do know about Stewie is him and Brian are like a duo, so putting him in makes sense. But then he gets his own set of special moves, and his neutral B is just like a bunch of, like, stuff. I don't really personally get why. Is this really important enough to be a whole neutral B for him? And then side B bark. Okay, he does bark. Upbeat hop from grass. And then car. I feel like all of this just feels like there has to be something else, right? No. I don't think this is particularly great. Maybe he's like, I don't particularly hate him. I mean, he's kind of fine. I'd probably put him lower on this tier, but he's not like, Maybe that's what it's accurate to the character. I don't know. He's okay. And we got Leopold 6. So this is a character I'm also very passionate about, personally speaking. So this is a very good early YouTube character inherently. Leopold is like the angry German kid. Is just like a good. It's just a good pick because it's just of the time. And this AGK has a lot of he has a unique fandom around him. He's also just generally a cool guy in general, honestly. So yeah, like making a ranter character, which I haven't ever really made a video on that, but it's a cool idea. I like it. His neutral B is a little ridiculous. Okay, yeah, 50%, but again, early Lawl, like, this is something that can just be tweaked instantly. Also, comparing the guy to Hitler, awesome. The side B, he throws bottles and knives. Like, I mean, he did it in a video. And then the up B, which is based on something from the fan, like, show stuff. Which, you know what? I imagine you would probably have to reach a little bit for recovery, so this makes sense. I think this is like a thing where he is, again, inherently more of a YouTube poop-esque character. His source is a little limited. So yeah, you know what? This is fair. This is like a understandable thing you grab. And then you have the down B, which is like the Coca-Cola Mentos thing. I don't know how fitting this is, personally. And I just feel like there's one giant problem I have with this character. I feel like the one core thing he's missing. He doesn't have anything relating to music. Like, his whole thing obviously was he's very infamous for the ranting stuff. But after that, when he was still, like, you know, doing stuff, he did a lot of, like, rapping and, like, gangster and just, like, goofy stuff. Like, that was what he was mostly actually passionate about. The ranting thing was just a thing he did as, like, a joke to entertain people, and it blew out of proportion. But like, there's no music thing related to the source, and even when you consider the fact that as a YouTube poop-esque character, he's very well known, like Van Darkholme, for having a lot of like YTP MVs with his screaming and stuff like that. People just love that. Like that's his victory screen, victory theme got changed to be based on that. Like I'm a butterfly or whatever the hell. But it's his screaming instead. He's just well known for that, and it's not anywhere in his moveset at all. I feel like that's like a begging to be put in as like a down B, like him rapping. I don't know. I still think I think he's still mostly fine. Like, I'd put him in like so good. I guess I'll put him in he's neat. I think there is just like a core thing he is missing in his character that should be there. Like overall, like most of what I would expect to see there is there. Stink meter. Oh god. So this, for the longest time, and still kind of is, the only character from the Boondocks in a Lawl. And Jesus, this is a very funny pick. If you know anything about Stink Meter, you know why he's infamous. I will say I'm not even gonna play the video because I feel like I'm gonna get like I don't know. It's just weird. It's very weird. I think the character is honestly the one thing I could complain about is like I'll try and play it, okay? Because I feel like I do need to. He brings the hate. I'm pretty sure he brought something else. All right, so most of his moves like make sense. I think like all of his moves like are mostly fine. I just think that one thing he was well known for like bringing in his like a group of people for his like in his first appearance. He had like a bunch of like people that joined him, his crew. And they aren't represented in this moveset at all, which is like it's a shame. But I mean like honestly, still probably one of the better movesets. I think he's pretty accurate to what his source would be. Pretty well done. Which is weird to say about a Boondocks character. Also, I forgot something important. Toshi-san. I don't really know how many people actually knew what the source was. I genuinely didn't know for the longest time until I saw a random YouTuber I follow talk about it like once. So I'm aware that it is meant to be like a parody series. It's meant to be crudely drawn and bad on purpose. I think it's definitely more charming than a lot of other best characters, but I think he's still kind of like about average for me personally. But yeah, that's what do you expect. Guy who does not like green eggs and ham, also known as Guy I Am. This is the one. Again, one of the things I like about this Law is it's picking a lot of characters that weren't grabbed up or frequently thinking about. Like this is a Dr. Seuss character. I don't really think many people were considering a Dr. Seuss character. We got the Grinch after a long time when the Grinch leaks were happening. Someone thought it'd be cool to do it. So it's cool that we're finally, like, this was the first time it happened. And it's a unique pick. It's not the Cat in the Hat. It's just, it's this random dude. And I think the only thing I have a couple of critiques. The neutral B is the hand car. I think whenever you design a character, one of the most important things you need to do is, like, the neutral B should be, like, their core, I feel like. That should be their core move that you should, like, it should be what the character is probably using a lot. Like, the hand car, not really. When I think of Guy who does not like green eggs and ham, I don't think I think of a hand car. But, like, it's, like, a small complaint. This should probably be his neutral B, because, like, that's the thing he does the whole time, is, like, he says no to things. So that should be his neutral B. But, like, it's good that it's there. This is a funny character to have a reflector, but it makes sense. Yeah, Sam I Am, he kind of pops up underneath floorboards. And then the Cat in the Hat is just in his moveset. I feel like this could be something different, but, like, whatever. And then also the only time we're really going to talk about Final Smash is, like, okay, he eats the green eggs and ham, and he gets poisoned, and then he gets a aura around him that just damages other people. I don't really know. Like, I know you're probably reaching for a final smash, so I'm not gonna be too harsh about it. But I feel like it shouldn't. I don't know. It's something about it. Just like I feel like there's like something wrong here. But I mean, I don't know. Like, I think he's neat. I think he's interesting. He has a good idea. And then we have Michael Rosen. Michael Rosen here. I mean, yeah, like Michael Rosen's a good character to grab, honestly. I like the idea that he's not just based on YouTube stuff. It is based on what the guy is known for doing, which is like, you know, telling stories and stuff. So, you know, like I respect that. You're not like going all out with it. I mean, and then you actually getting his like full body. You're not like cropping him out in a tiny little like cue, which I know a lot of people do. Some YouTube poopers represent him, but like going out of your way to like fully render him is good. I respect that. The problem is this character has like a lot of stuff where like he's just not allowed to move. Like neutral B doesn't let him move. Side B only works if he already used his neutral B, which he can't move from. So this is just like a weird thing. It's a little strange. I get what you're intending with this. And I'm going on a bear hunt. I guess, like, I mean, you are probably reaching for, you know, what you could use for recovery, but, like, I feel like there's other things you could grab and not the bear hunt thing. I don't know. This is a weird, like, I remember the Skyfu being a thing. I don't know what you would represent it as, but, you know. And the bag of plums, you know, like, that makes sense. And then obviously, you know, the new. Oh yeah, also like he has like only a sit lift limit of 50 for plums. Like I don't know why that's there, but I mean, okay. And then I like this final smash, no breathing. This is a funny idea. I like this idea. It's simple. It works. It's one of my favorite memes from Michael Rosen personally. It's good. Yeah, I mean like he's got some weird quirks. But I mean, I guess I put him in like so good. I mean, he's got some weird things here and there, but I think overall, like he's what I would expect. And then I think Tomo. I don't really know him. I'm not very familiar with this character, so I was having a hard time judging this one. So the way I'm kind of judging this is that does it give me a good idea what this character is about? And most of what I get from this moveset is that she's a very hyperactive character. She's very energetic. Which is okay. And then here's the thing though, she has a weird mechanic with this side V thing, which completely alters you have to like, yeah, as it says, like, you either take damage or you heal or whatever. So you want to bait for this, and then when someone hits it, you could probably get a damage buff for the rest of the stock. I believe it was, yeah, or until either one of you gets KO'd, and then you can balance this out with the down B, which just gives you your stats back. So she's always going to be able to like rebalance her stats. She's always has like a stat advantage over you, which is that's fair. That's cool. I like that. It means that she has 2 stats to constantly want to buff up and bait for to get a lead on you, and then everything else she's probably based more on her getting off normals and stuff. Okay. And she has her approach option and her neutral B. Some special moves could probably be moved around here and there, but overall, you know, I like it. I like this character. I don't think she's bad. I think she's personally pretty good. It's not too crazy. And then we have Mr. Bean. So this is I don't really know how to feel about this character, personally. Because, like, what do I know about Mr. Bean? I know that he's, like, a accident-prone character. A lot of his skits are very short, which makes sense. His moveset is only 4 minutes. I don't know if I would make his neutral B lethal injection. But that being said, I kind of someone told me that they really like the Mr. Bean moveset in general, and I can kind of see why. So how the lethal injection works is this is like one of the short times where I think Guido really did balance his character very well. In that it's a very strange thing. So it cancels out like a random thing for 30 seconds. And this can like literally not even just be a move. It could be anything at all. It could be your ability to turn. It can like be your ability to jump. It could be your ability to swim, which does absolutely nothing for most of the time. It do grabs, A moves, B moves. Like it's just like this is a funny idea. Mr. Bean is just giving you something, and you're just like, oh fuck, god damn it, I have to deal with this now. And that's funny. Like that, like Mr. Bean throwing you into a very awkward situation you just kind of have to handle now is in character. I feel like that's kind of getting the shtick of what he needs to be about. And it also does not stack, which is good. This is one of a few times where he explicitly states it does not stack, which is good because I feel like if you could keep doing that, it'd be really annoying and overpowered. And then he gets like this thing, which is the side B. He rolls you up, which makes sense. Like he's rolling, and again, he's taking advantage of the neutral B thing where your controls are probably all messed up, and he's gonna try and make things even worse for you. It's a funny grapple, and but he also has to be careful around it because he can also roll off the stage with it, which is funny. It's very, very good. And the Rite of Doom, it's funny. It's like it's very funny. I like it a lot. It's not too crazy. And the explosive paint. No. I don't really know. I don't really think this is like super complex. It creates a slip trap though, which I think again, is playing into the idea he's creating a lot of like absurd things or even around the stage that you kind of have to deal with. On top of like lethal injection, which maybe he can get a lethal injection off of the slip trap. Moveset synergy. I think he's pretty well made, honestly. I like this moveset a lot. I can see why people really like it. He's pretty good. It's pretty good. Yeah. I don't know. Again, I don't really know much about Mr. Bean, so I don't know if there are moves that deserve to be as special moves more than these. But I think overall, like what Mr. Bean is captured well enough. I like it. I like it. Robbie Rotten. This was a long time ago, before the meme, so I think that my biggest critique about Robbie Rotten is, his moveset is mostly fine, but the Master Disguise thing is kind of hurt by the fact that he can only transform into the pirate thing, and it gives him, like, enhanced, like, normal attacks. Like, that's, like, such a missed opportunity. Like, Robbie Rotten is, like, I mean, I think this is good, but you can expand out more. He should be able to do even more. Like, you show all these other outfits he can do. He can become a doctor. He can become, Sporticus a couple times. Other than that, I think, like, everything else is fine. I think the recovery is good. The cannonball is goofy. And the leaf trap, these are all kind of, like, these are things I would expect. Again, the only complaint I think I really have is, like, the neutral, but he should be able to get into more. Also, being able to fall into his own trap is good. I do like that. That should definitely be there, because that's what happens a lot. I think it's good. I think there's definitely, like, room to do more, but I still think he's good. I think he's good. Oh god, Flurry Shy. Flurry Shy is a nightmare. So, I don't know... Ah, fuck. Okay, fine. I'll do YouTube ads. Alright, whatever. We're gonna wing the rest of it. I don't care. I already made it this far. Flurry Shy. So, what I specifically remember of Flurry Shy is a lot of her moves keep you in place for some ungodly reason. They just inhibit her movement a lot. Like, she's the character that's just, I'm not allowed to move for a lot of her specials. And I'm just like, Why? Also, her down B literally just allows her to just exit the match and just not play for as long as she wants. Why? I mean, I don't really know much about the character, but like, this is just not a fun character in concept. There's not really anything fun about it. It's just not like, you don't really get to play the game, the character, even when you're like, it's whatever. The two were bridge characters. I mostly think, I mean, I don't really know much about their source. They are bridge characters. I think they're mostly fine. I think they're okay. They're pretty good. They're inherently, you know, they're playing off a lot more of their jokes instead of like the Yu-Gi-Oh stuff, which I think is good. I like that a lot. One of them has a money mechanic, I think. I think it's this guy here, Seto, which is okay. And then also this guy, Merrick, I think, has a Steve thing where he can label. He's literally like a boss character. I actually really like his moveset. He's like a boss character. Like he wants you to be a Steve, so you just like become worse in like every way possible. It's very, very goofy. I love it a lot. Maybe there is some like unbalanced quirks to it, but I think overall the characters are pretty goofy. I like it a lot. And Trip. Trip is probably one of my favorite characters in Lawl X, and I love him a lot. He has some weird quirks though that have always stuck out to me. So the neutral B and the side B are what you would expect. They're like the art where he prompts you for a question in the neutral B, and you want to get. It's like he kind of functions a lot like a boss character as well, where he wants to get stacks of, you know, asking questions, and eventually he frustrates you after approaching it so many times. It limits your options, and then he freaks out at you and does a lot of damage. And then the side B, he just can absorb a bunch of items to put into the drink, the mixed drinks. And he gets a different kind of buff depending on if he gets more traps, weapons, or just random healing foods. And most of the time, this is a very practical thing, because Law is full of traps. So, you know, a character that can just scoop it all up and then have something he can throw out as a lot of damage is pretty good. The two moves that I think are especially bad, though, are the up B. The up B is kind of good in that it's playing into the fact that Facade has a lot of bad mechanics. Because it's an old game, it's very buggy, it's kind of glitchy, it's weird. But you control it with the Wii remote. Why? What on earth made you decide controlling a recovery with the Wii remote was a good idea? Like, even for like a lull, like, why? Like, no one's really thinking about the Wii remote aspect, like, ever. It's very strange. And then the down B is just melon, and it's literally nothing. It's like one of the most offensive, like, why is this move here move? It really benefits Trip absolutely not at all. It doesn't do anything. He just puts it down, and he can break it, or an opponent can heal with it. He doesn't get any damage off of it. He can't do anything with it. He can't heal with it. He just puts a melon on the stage for someone else to heal from. It's not like a Weird Al where an opponent gets slowed down or anything. It just appears and they heal. Why? It's also not really good for this character because the whole thing is he doesn't like melons. That's the joke. It's the one word in the game that makes him upset, and he will kick you out of the house instantly. So why did you, like, I get that it's important, but I think that should be, like, literally anything else but, like, a special move. I think there's definitely other things you could have done. I think he's still, like, neat, but, like, there's some just really weird design choices again. Mabel. I don't really have anything to say about Mabel. Mabel kind of uses her sweater. She uses a bunch of things I know from the source. She uses grappling hook. She's about what I would expect, you know. Pinkie Pie. I also remember Pinkie Pie being mostly okay. Like, she was fine. Like, she's not terrible. And the Game Grumps. The Game Grumps are interesting in that this was, again, a long time ago. So a lot of the sources they use are a bit strange. I think the biggest problem with these characters is the fact that Agito mandates, you know, I want to like sentence mix them, and they have codecs. And respectfully, the codecs aren't that great. They just sound really weird, and they get a lot of screen time too. Like, I think Danny's mostly fine. I saw what Danny does, and like most of his stuff it fits. And Aaron has a thing where he can complain about a game, and it will persist even after you tag out. That's cool. I like it. Like, they're funny. I'll put them in funny. I'm not personally very passionate about them. I think they're kind of weird, but you know, it's whatever. Oh my god. So this is the character that there's like, we're finally getting into like, you know, we're getting close to the midway point where Lawl has ground up a lot of unique characters that kind of just came out of the blue. And Yuno has so many problems. Like, so many problems. So, for one thing, she has a 3D model for some of her sprites for some reason. I don't know why. I think it's based on MMD Studio or Miku Studio or whatever. I don't know why. Like, she has enough to work with. I don't really think you need to make a 3D model, so now she has a visual dissonance. And one of my biggest critiques is that you pulled a character from Future Diary and you didn't include her main thing she's known for, which is the Future Diary. Why? Why? Like, the whole thing she's known for is like Future Diary is like, it's like a everyone gets their thing that allows them to see the future, and every diary works in a different way. And hers literally is like the most interesting. It can make her one of the most interesting characters in that it revolves around, you know, what's going on with the person she's stalking all the time. That's like begging for someone to, like, you know, like, he could be like, there's like a lot of ways you could just handle this. But he's not in the moveset at all. The Future Diary is not in the moveset at all. And she doesn't have like a future sight at all. If any, so she's like, I think she's a case that's even worse than Konata. Because whereas Konata, I feel like, you know, there's some goofy things, there's some weird moves and balancing here and there. This is just a case where you're missing out on like a major part of the character entirely in their source. Like, the whole thing is that she's meant to be like she's one of the famous old internet stalker characters where like she chases after a dude, and like she's a yandere or whatever. And you didn't include him anywhere in the moveset. You didn't include her like a time reading part anywhere in the moveset. The most she has is the deflector with the knife. And like, literally that's it. And she has a side B that revolves around like, I think, IQ for like some reason. That's this is like probably like, I think this is worse than Konata. Yuno is genuinely terrible. Like, there's like so many core aspects of the character not being absorbed. The arts, she's not really using the correct sprites at all. Like, for some reason, I don't know why. And it sucks because like, I think she's a great idea for a character. And she's very complicated, but she could work. She could be amazing even. She's just not good. And then we have Plankton. You know, I actually kind of like Plankton. I think I rewatched Plankton again recently. I think Plankton's not that bad. I like the idea that he can hide behind things with his neutral B because he's just tiny. He can hide behind food, and he can just like, it's just cool. It's very goofy. I think the only thing I wish is that he could move with it, but like, And then, but the moving thing he does at the maximum overdrive thing, it shrinks him for some reason. There's some sprite inconsistencies here and there. It's a little weird, but I think overall, I don't mind the character personally. There's just some weird quirks in there. They're kind of goofy. I think the one thing me and my friends joke around a lot of is like, he has his tilt, this is a side tilt, is the tank. And it's like, I've never made a video about joking about how dash attacks are giant vehicle moves, giant hitboxes. Plankton's side tilt is literally just that, which is ridiculous. And it goes off platforms too. It's just like, why? Why is that his side tilt? I think it's more funny, if anything. So I'm just gonna put him in funny, but like, you know. And Scott Pilgrim. This is again like a. This is where we started getting into a trend where a lot of movie characters were being grabbed up that were happening at the time, and I think Scott Pilgrim is a weird pick, but I think he's fine overall. His moves are they're kind of boring for the most part. Outside like the neutral B, which changes depending on I think the state of the match. It's like, I don't know. I'm not particularly crazy about him personally. He's just kind of fine. He's okay. I like the idea of live action Scott Pilgrim, as being a character. He's okay. But yeah. Oh no. Oh. So this is another difficult thing. So Carl Pilkington is another, unfortunately, this is a character I feel like is not one a lot of people think about because he's just a weird pick in general. I mean, we have like a Michael Rosen and Mr. Bean. We have like our general comedian people. And I think Carl's kind of like that. I know him more for being like a comedian and such. But this moveset does not focus on like so much of the character. I think this is like one of the things I explained when I was doing a Lawl tutorials, is that you want to make sure when you grab a character, you don't miss out on encompassing everything with a character. If they have too much to pull from, that could become a problem very fast, because someone's going to watch this moveset expecting something from Carl, and it's not there, and it just means the moveset is just a bust instantly. It's bad. You can't do anything about it. You can't salvage it. It's just that character is just missing so much that they're expecting to see. And Carl, I think, is literally focused on his Around the World special. I don't really know what the name of it is specifically, but it's just all that. And a lot of the moves are also just completely bad. They're all bad. They're all terrible. Like, you would think he's the best character at some points, but he's not. A lot of moves, like his neutral beat just kind of goes in random directions. He can't aim it at all. His final smash kind of sucks. It's just really not good. And then he's just not really animated very well. Like, these are just like, this is like a massive stinker. Like, this character is bad, man. Like, he doesn't have anything. Like, even I really know the character, and I know he should have some comedian stuff, and it's not there. He's just like nothing. This character is just missing us so much. This is another character that I would also put at not a fan. It's not good. It's really not good. And I think this is a problem we will start readily seeing more and more once we eventually get into part 2. Is, unfortunately, a lot of these characters start having a trend of just being very plain, or missing a massive aspect of the character that is not there, and it ends up making the moveset feel very incomplete. And on top of the fact that we are so far into, Lawl X at this point, and the animation style has kind of stagnated a lot. Like, we were very far, and at this point we had animated idols and like Chin's Law and stuff, and like everywhere else. So, man. And it sucks, because as you can see, I rank a lot of these characters pretty highly. I think they're all generally pretty interesting. I think there's a lot of good ideas here. But as we get further and further, it's just like, oh, what's happening here? And whenever we continue part 2, Peridot is going to continue the trend of some very questionable design choices. And again, I know we talk a lot about, I talk a little bit, trying to talk too much about balancing. But it's becoming a problem where this Lawl is not only not taking many good cues from balancing aspect, but character and moveset presentation, and like making sure you're bringing enough to the table and the character isn't feeling too bad. You want to put your best foot forward. You want to make sure everyone loves what they're seeing, and then we're just like not getting it anymore. But yeah. I will be very excited to talk about part 2, because part 2, a lot of unique picks. A lot of unique picks. I'll probably do Lawl Mad before then, though, because this was just like a thing. I want to at least talk about this Konata first, before I talk about the new Konata. But yeah. I hope you all enjoyed it. This is a little bit scuffed, as you can see. I was kind of... I want to do this for a little bit, but I didn't... But YouTube, ad blocker, bad Wi-Fi junk happening lately. But yeah, hopefully you enjoy it. Have a wonderful night. Bye-bye.